Hello and welcome to Physics with Amol sir. So this video is for class 11 and we will continue with the chapter Units and Measurement. So in the previous class we saw the concept of errors. We saw which are the different types of errors. Okay, today we are going to see how we can minimize the errors. See, whenever we are doing any kind of measurement, it is actually impossible to have zero error in that particular measurement. Always, no matter how much we try, there are bound to be some errors, as we saw the last time. There might be some errors that may be due to instruments, or some errors that may be due to the person who is performing that particular experiment, right? Or some may be random errors which you don't have any control over. So we cannot actually make the errors to be zero, but yes, there is a method to minimize the errors. Okay, so today we are going to see how we can minimize the errors. So let's begin. So first we will see the concept of least count error. So what is the meaning of a least count first? Least count means it is the smallest possible measurement that our instrument can give, that we call as the least count. For example, if you have a scale with you, so using the scale you can measure, the smallest reading you can measure is 1 mm, 1 millimeter, correct? So that 1 mm is the least count of that scale. Or if you have a watch, so our normal watches that we have in our houses, so the smallest reading they give is 1 second. So 1 second is the least count. So that is the concept of least count. So the error which arises due to the precision of your instrument, how precise our instrument is, that is the least count of that instrument. So the errors that arise due to that least count, these errors are known as least count errors, right? That is one concept. Now we are going to see some other concepts. These concepts will actually help us to make the errors as small as possible. Okay, so let us imagine that we are measuring some kind of length is there, or some kind of quantity is there that we want to measure, right? And we are using some kind of instrument to do that measurement. Now in day-to-day life, normally what we see, we use a measuring tape. We want to measure the length of a room, we want to measure the length of a table, correct? For that we will use a measuring tape. When there are smaller devices, we use devices such as the vernier calipers, micrometers, which we will actually see in our practicals also, right? So using these devices, we can actually measure small readings, smaller objects, and they can be much precise. Precise means, for example, using our scale, we can measure up to 1 mm, but using a vernier caliper, we can actually measure 10 times smaller readings. Correct? But again, all these things we will discuss when we are doing our practicals. So now we are going to imagine a case where we are doing some kind of measurements using an instrument. Okay. So after making the measurements, we get the readings such as A1, A2, A3, so on up to AN. So we have taken n number of readings. Always remember, if we want to have a smaller error, the number of readings that we are taking, they should be very large. Okay, if we take a large number of readings, then we can ensure that the value that we get, that will be closer to the actual value, right? So we have taken n number of readings. These readings could be anything. They could be measurements of length, they could be measurement of mass, or they could be measurement of time, or any other factor for that matter. Okay, so we have taken n number of readings. First we will find something called as the mean value, okay, or the average value. So what is the meaning of mean or average? Mean means we denote it by the symbol of A, and we will write here A mean. So what is the meaning of A mean? We add all the values that we have measured and divide it by the number of values. So A mean will be equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3, so on up to AN, and divided by how many readings we have taken, that is n. So A mean is the sum of all the values divided by the number of values. We can write it as summation of AI, where I goes from 1 up to n divided by n. This is A mean. Now make a note of this. Okay, so this is the first concept, that is mean value. So mean is the average value. We assume that if you have taken, let us say, 100 readings, the average of that reading, or the mean value of this reading, will be very much close to the actual value of that particular measurement. After we have calculated the mean value, we will find something called as the absolute error. So what is absolute error? absolute error is difference between the mean value and the measured value. Okay, and why we have something called as the absolute error? Because no matter how well we have taken our reading, there is bound to be some error. So we want to find out what is that error. And we assume that the mean value is very much close to the actual value of that measurement. So we will find absolute error. How do we find absolute error? We denote it by this symbol delta, and this is absolute error for the first reading. So delta A1 will be A1 minus the mean value. Okay. Similarly, delta A2 will be A2 minus the mean value, and so on. We can find delta AN, that will be AN minus the mean value. Getting the idea? So this is the meaning of absolute error. Always remember, absolute error is always taken as positive. Correct? So suppose A1 is greater than the mean value, this will be positive, no problem. But if let us say A2 is smaller than the mean value, then A2 minus the mean will actually be negative. But the absolute errors are always taken as positive because we only want the difference between the values. So what we do? We always take the modulus of these. Okay, so the absolute errors are always taken as positive, right? After we have found the absolute errors, we can find the mean absolute error. Okay, so what is the meaning of mean absolute error? Mean absolute error will be nothing but the average of all the absolute errors. Okay, that is denoted by this delta A mean. Delta A mean, as you would have already guessed, will be delta A1 plus delta A2 plus up to delta AN divided by the number of readings, which is n, or we will denote it like this: summation of delta AI, where I goes from 1 to n, divided by n. This is delta A mean, the mean absolute error. Okay, now these words, many of them seem very much alike, but make sure that you are understanding the difference. Mean absolute error is the mean of all the absolute errors. Okay, it is very much different than A mean. A mean was mean of all the readings that we had taken. Okay, and now we will find the most important quantity, which is the quantity we will be using in our error analysis, which is called as the relative error. Okay, so what is relative error? Relative error is nothing but the ratio of mean absolute error to the mean value. Okay, relative error is denoted by this symbol delta. Okay, so the relative error, that is delta A, will be denoted by is equal to delta A mean divided by A mean. Okay, so relative error is the ratio of the mean absolute error to the mean value. Okay, and using that we can find the percentage error. So percentage error is nothing but delta A multiplied by 100. So delta A mean by A mean into 100, that will give you the percentage error. Okay, so we have seen a lot of concepts, a lot of nomenclature. I hope all of these were understood. Now again, there might be some doubts. Make sure you go through all these steps. Okay, now I'm going to give you one small sum. Using the steps, I'm sure you will be able to solve it. Okay, so what we are doing, let us say we have taken one instrument, okay, for example a vernier caliper, and using a vernier caliper we have measured the length of a given object, right? So these are the measurements that we have got. So we will write the first reading A1, let us write it as 5.25 centimeter, A2 5.23 centimeter, A3 5.27 centimeter, A4 5.30 centimeter, and A5 5.21 centimeter. These are 5 readings that we have measured using a vernier caliper. Okay. Now using the steps, I want you to find out the relative error in this particular measurement. Okay. So you will follow all the steps that we have seen. These are A1 to A5. First, find out the A mean, average of all these 5 values. Once you have found out A mean, you will find absolute errors for each. So delta A1, delta A2 up to delta A5. Then you will find out the mean absolute error, and using the mean absolute error, dividing it by the mean value, you will get the relative error, and then relative error into 100, you will get the percentage error. So I want you to find out the relative error and percentage error for this particular these values. Okay, if you do that, this concept will be very easily understood, right? In the next class, then we will talk about combination of errors. But before that, make sure that you have understood this concept properly. And again, if there are any doubts, make sure you are asking. Okay, thank you.